And hello, good people of the internet. It is I, Tommy Kelly. This is Adventures in Woo Woo. And this episode is all about the 40 Servants dice. So I have been teasing everyone with the 40 Servants dice for at least 25 million years at this point. Certainly over the last couple of months, I have been mentioning it and showing photos of it because I got the prototype of it a while back. And then I got the finished product of it not that long ago. But I didn't want to release all of the stuff around the anniversary of the 40 Servants. I thought it might things would get lost or that it would be too much for people. And it was too much for me anyway to try and get all the work done and all the different things that you need to do in order to launch a new edition. So this is the dice, finally. It comes in a nice little tin. You can hear the rattle there. This is the same tin that the travel deck, incidentally, comes in, so that's the same size. And inside, we have 8 wooden dice. I hope you can see them without them falling out. And on each of the dice, you have the 47 sigils. Now, of course, 6 8s, 48. So there's not 48, 40 servants. There is 40 servants. So there's a number of different ways that I was looking at how would I do a dice divination system using the 40 servants. The prototype, I think I had 6 dice, 7 dice maybe. Yeah, 7, 6, 42. And then I had 2 dice where there was one blank side. And so in this one I goes, no, if I do it with 8 and each dice has a blank dice, it would also allow me to break down the servants into their elemental correspondences and have each element appear on each dice once. So what exactly does that mean? If you've read the Grimoire of the 40 Servants or you've seen the website, you will see that there is an extra bit where I broke down the 40 Servants into elemental categories, being, earth, air, fire, water, spirit. 5 categories in my system. And so when it came to putting the dice together, I thought it could be interesting rather than just having random dice, with sigils just randomly put on the dice, which is what I originally had done. I thought I should have a more coherent system than that. And so each dice is representing one each of the elements. So on each dice you have an earth, you have an air, you have fire, you have a water and your spirit, and a blank side. And I really like the idea of this because when you do a reading with the dice, by throwing the dice, you can immediately see that there might be an elemental kind of reading that you could look at or a side to it that, while you could do this with the cards, it's kind of formed in this way that this is more of an aptitude towards that kind of a reading. And so if something come up and you can see there's a lot of fire here, or there's a lot of earth here, there's a lot of air here, you can have an extra perspective on what the question is. What I really like about having the blank side of the dice is something I've been thinking about recently. And let's say you were asking a question, and particularly if you were asking a question of any sort of, say, ancestor, spirit, other, or whatever, or even the 40 servants themselves. If you're using the cards, even if there isn't an answer, by the nature of having cards, shuffling cards, pulling out cards, you're going to get an answer. There's never really an opportunity for a no answer. You can, in the runes, get a no answer because there is a blank rune, but is a very later kind of addition to the runes. Of course, it's debatable whether the runes were ever used for divination in the first place. And I suppose with a pendulum, you kind of can get no answer to. But stuff where, you're throwing like the I Ching or tarot or oracles, you're going to get an answer no matter what. So I really like with the dice that there is the opportunity for no answer. You could get 8 blank dice, which I think is an important thing because if you are kind of forcing an answer sometimes, or, particularly when people ask, I've never done this myself personally, ask the same question over and over, eventually you could just get nothing, no response. So I like that. So how would I suggest I actually use the dice? Well, there's a number of ways you could do it. One would be simply, you could take it from the tin. You can't actually shuffle them because of the nature of it, that they would they'd all stay on the same side. But I kind of shuffle them in your hand. And you just take out one. And as you can see, if that focuses, you get the idea. You get the idea of how you would use that. And you could do that, I suppose, with all 8. I will be working on various different throws and stuff that you can use in order to get the most out of the 8 dice. But I suppose taking one out, throwing all 8 and seeing kind of shape as well that's related to it. So it's like if they're all If there's a center shape, you know that, or if there's a center dice surrounded by things, then you know that that's the heart of the matter. If it's all to one side, you can tell that you've been pulled in one direction and things like that. I will break that down in further videos or probably more newsletters and stuff about it. I have a number of ideas that'll be better explained in text. So it also comes with a fold-out thing that has some information, but it also has all the elemental correspondences there for you to have a quick and easy look. And the dice comes with a PDF of the Grimoire of the 40 Servants, so you have all of that information. And a load of information is on adventuresinwoowoo.com or the40servants.com or 40servants.com. So yeah, I'm looking forward to using these. It's very easy to bring around, which is very small, very easy to conceal. And I'm very much interested in seeing how you all are going to use it. There'll be some great ideas, I think, for different people once they get their hands on it and to start sharing how they're using it for divination and what their process is. And hope you can see the benefit of having something that is a different way of approaching the 40 Servants. And by its very nature and its design, it's going to have a slightly different approach, not necessarily personality, but a slightly different approach to, and the answers will be slightly different in the sense of when you're doing a reading with the dice compared to the cards. Once a particular servant is chosen, it negates other servants that can't be chosen. So for instance, in a card reading, you could have both the chaste and the carnal. And even though they are somewhat the counter cards, they could come up in a reading. Within the dice kind of version of it, they can't, because the carnal and the chaste are on the one dice. So you're only going to be able to have one, with a certain amount of cards that then disqualify, if you want, other cards from coming up in a reading, which will be an interesting kind of take. And while again, I don't think it'll be a personality change from the 40 Servants, it'll be a different approach and a different kind of way of looking at things. And especially when you bring in the elemental stuff, I think it's going to be very exciting, and it's going to be a good way to, it'll certainly be a good way to learn the sigils anyway as well. So there's loads of benefits for it. I have got to the rambly stage, of course, so I will leave it there. Good people of the internet, may our best days be ahead, and be well.